Hey everyone! Today I have partnered with Gymshark to bring you a 66-day habit changing challenge. Habit changing challenge. Yeah. The reason I really love this challenge is because it's not just about fitness. It's about bringing people together with the same intention of building healthier habits together.
Especially good ways of building health and releasing emotional tension.
They say, and by they I mean scientists, it takes 66 days to form a habit to change your life for the better, and all you have to do is try. So I thought I would share the changes that I have made since January that I feel enrich my life for the better.
1.
Doing things when I think of them, or at least making note of it.
I don't know about you, but usually I trust myself enough to think when I think of something that I'm going to remember it at the end of the day, or I may remember it tomorrow or the next day. And it's great that I trust myself. But usually it doesn't happen. I have forgotten to do so many important tasks or so many things that I really need to do during a day because I haven't written them down. It's such a simple task and it can really change the way that we utilize our time during the day.
You need to buy almond milk. Hey, Pam just emailed. Reply back. Jay never cleared out his closet. Ugh. Write it down. Exactly.
I end up thinking about the task that I was supposed to remember. It makes me feel anxious and it makes me actually feel disappointed in myself. And so to avoid that, to actually build more trust in ourselves and to truly make use of our time, actually writing them down or doing them at the time is going to be so useful. So I usually have a note section on my phone where I will just jot it down. Whatever it is, I just have bullet points of all the things that I need to remember to do. And if I have time at the time, then I'll just go and do it. That applies to everything from emails that you need to reply to, or text messages, or things around the house, or even going out and getting that dry cleaning that you've forgotten for 6 months. I actually did that. Every single day I was like, oh, I have to go and get that piece. I sent a duvet in, I was like, I have to go and get it. Every single day I was like, I'll go get it. Oh, it's too late now. It's like 5 o'clock, it's closing in like 10 minutes. And it literally stayed there for 6 months. And so I went there and I was like, oh, I had a duvet. She was like, oh yes, last year. I was like, yeah.
2.
Investing in relationships.
After everything that's happened over the past year, I truly believe that we all want to invest more in our relationships. And I know because of time differences, especially because my family's in London, I have a time limit between I have a certain time that I can call them between, and that's usually in the morning for me. And so what I've learned to do now is to set certain times that I'm going to call people and certain times that I'm going to connect to them. And so I know I speak to my mum at a certain time every single morning to make sure that I'm able to invest in my relationship and reconnect to her every day. I know my grandma can only speak at a certain time, and so I make sure that I prioritize that, because otherwise weeks and weeks can go by and we're thinking of the person, but we don't actually reach out. And so with friends as well across the world, what I've learned to do is set out a certain amount of time every week that I connect to anybody that I'm thinking of. And again, you can jot down all the people that you want to speak to on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, whether it's to check in with them to see how they're doing, or whether it's just to connect and have a laugh with a friend. I think it's really important, especially now, to remember to connect to people, to remember to check in with them, and to invest in our relationships deeper so people know that we care about them and you're getting some sort of socializing with people that you love and care for.
3.
Insta scrolling. They see me scrolling. They're hating, patrolling and trying to catch me scrolling. Daddy.
So during Christmas, I got to spend a certain amount of time with my family. I think I spent about a month in total. And for 7 days, we went away to the countryside. And I decided that I really needed a break from social media, from Instagram, and just from my phone in general. And so I decided that I would spend a maximum of half an hour on my phone for the full day. I realized how much I enjoyed the peace and how much I enjoyed having time to fully focus on what I was doing. And more than that, I realized I was able to utilize the time so much more. I realized how many hours I was spending on there when I look back at my screen time. And I know all of that was not for work. A lot of it was Instagram scrolling. And so what I started doing was I have an app that I read scriptures on. And so I've actually put that right next to my Instagram app, which is the app that I use the most. And so every time I end up reaching for my phone, I know that that's my mind telling me I want a little bit of stimulation. And if I'm not going on there to post or to do something useful, my mind goes straight to that other app, the app that I'm reading on. And that can be any app. It can be the app that you use to read your books. It can be somewhere that you gain information or something useful from that you put right next to your Instagram app. And I have genuinely found that every time I reach for it now, it's created a habit and it's made me choose the scripture app. And I just read. I read even if it's like for 10 minutes, for 3 minutes, something that really, really quenches my thirst for using my hands in some way, using my phone in some way. But I'm also getting nourished at the same time instead of mindlessly looking through my Instagram feed.
4.
Mindful eating.
We often forget that when we are eating, it is actually nourishing our body to be able to do everything that we want to do and need to do every single day. And so really, if you think about it, it's probably one of the most important parts of your day. So sitting in a really, really peaceful environment in a way that you can appreciate the food, where you're tasting every flavor, where you're appreciating the look of the food, the different colors, actually can be such a wonderful practice to have a moment of presence. And if you think about it, we eat 3 times a day usually. And so that's 3 times in a day where we can have a moment of mindfulness and a moment of presence. So here's a couple of things to try when it comes to mindful eating. Sit in a quiet place. Usually when we're eating, we can be watching TV, we're having a conversation, we may be on the phone. So try sitting with your food peacefully with no other noise or stimulus around you. Another thing you could try is trying to eat slowly. Count the amount of times you are chewing. Now that may feel quite monotonous, but once you end up doing it for a short period of time, it will become a natural way you're eating. So to start off with, you may have to count 60, 70, 80. You may be counting for the first week, but you'll notice that by the second week, if you have practiced it for that full week, I feel like I'm saying the same word over and over again. If you do this for a week and then another week.
Basil. Organic almonds. Fresh parsley.
Yeah, this is really good.
Shh. 65. 70.
Try out for a week, and then by the second week, you won't even need to count. Your body will have adjusted to the time that you take to chew each piece. And so you've created your habit. Maybe you won't even need those 66 days, but at least you've started it for that week, and hopefully you'll be able to maintain it too.
5.
Doing things one by one.
So I know many multitaskers in my life, and my husband happens to be one of them, but I have learned that I am not. When I try to do my tasks one by one and complete them before starting the next, it has made such a difference, one, to my focus and attention, but also to the amount of mistakes that I make on that task. It makes me feel a little bit anxious when I'm trying to do too many things at once, when I have something creative I'm trying to do and then trying to do something which takes more logic. I can't seem to do both well at the same time. And so setting out my days in a way where I have a creative phase at the beginning of my day and then having a time in the end of the day where I'm doing things to do with my logical side of my brain, it's helped me be a lot more productive and make way less mistakes. And I've definitely noticed that. That's it. That's all I've noticed.
6.
Doing something just for fun.
I found that a lot of the things in my life that I was doing was leading to some sort of result. Whether it was to do with work, I was always looking for an end result. And so I decided that this year I wanted to take up any activity. I chose random things that I wanted to try with no expectation of what the result was going to be. Just doing it purely to explore and experience life better. So one of the things I actually started was harmonium lessons. It's like a small little accordion type thing, a piano, tiny one, and I decided to take lessons in it because I've always wanted to be musical, and in my culture we do a lot of kirtan, which is a form of meditation, but it involves singing, and the whole point of it is not whether you've got a good voice or whether you feel you're a great singer. It is to connect in your meditation practice through music, and so it's something I always wanted to do, but I put off because I was like, oh, I'm not a good singer, like I'm not going to be able to do this, what's the point of me even trying? But it was something that I wanted to do for so long, and I realized it was my ego telling me that, oh, if you're not good at it, there's no point you doing it. And so I started off with that. I started my music lessons, which I'm enjoying so much, and I'm really deeply enjoying the practice of it. I sit and I sing by myself with the musical instrument. A couple of other things I started and tried was golf and tennis. I felt like they were really great sports that keep you active, but also fun to watch, and I always wanted to try it. Golf didn't last very long.
Still got it.
It was fun to try something and realize it wasn't for me and move on to the next thing without the feeling of, oh, now I've invested in it and now I've realized I'm not good at it. I have to keep trying until I get better. I realized it wasn't for me, so I moved on to tennis and I really started enjoying that too. I feel like there is so much ego involved in the activities that we do because we expect so much from ourselves to perform in a certain way. But actually trying something where you let go of your ego, you let go of your inhibitions, and you just do it from your heart can actually nourish you so deeply and really just bring a little bit more light to your life.
7.
Moments of breath during your day.
In yoga, they say that breath actually connects the mind and the body and allows you to become present. And I can honestly say that breath work has really changed my life. Whether it's doing it when I feel anxious or overwhelmed or even when I have a headache. I found that during the day, having breaks where I was doing this breath work made such a difference. And it can be simply just taking deep breaths in and deep breaths out. And ideally, when you start the practice, start by counting your breaths. And so you will breathe in for a shorter amount of time than you breathe out. And that actually helps relax your body and your mind too. When our mind races or we feel anxious, it's usually because we are thinking about the past or the future. Breathing actually allows us to connect back to the present moment. So we aren't thinking about the future and we're not thinking about the past. We are simply focusing on now. So there are 3 breath works that I would recommend to start with if you're a beginner. Firstly, start with the simple yogic breath, which is just breathing in deeply and exhaling deeply. And with that, often I find when I teach people for the first time, they find their breath gets stuck right at their chest. They find they can't actually deeply inhale to their stomach. And so I would actually recommend keeping to that one simple practice for at least a month. Really, really working on bringing that air, bringing that inhale in as deep into your body as possible and feeling the air all over your body from your head to your toes. And then when you're exhaling, really thinking about bringing the air all the way from the pit of your stomach, all the stale, stagnant air that's built up over time, bring that up in your exhale and really feel your lungs being emptied. The second one that I would recommend is called Anulom Vilom, and that means alternate nostril breathing. Now this breath work is simply bringing air into one nostril and letting it out the other. And then breathing again through that nostril and letting it out through the other. And this one is great for focus and attention. So if you find your mind wavering while you're trying to focus at work, you could try Anulom Vilom. It's meant to help rebalance both hemispheres of the brain, and so it can really help align you and reset you in your space. And thirdly, I would say this one is probably more of an advanced breath work, but I find it's wonderful for when I'm feeling a bit lethargic or have a heavy head. It's called Brahmari, which is skull shining or humming bee breath work. And that's because you cover your eyes and your ears and you are literally humming, and it's causing stimulation in your mind. You will find that your head starts tingling. It's because a lot of energy is coming and stimulating through your body. So I'll give you a little example of this one. Oh, wow. It really does bring a lot of energy and stimulation just in that one moment. Like my eyes are feeling quite hazy actually. But because of the sound vibration, it actually moves throughout your whole body. And so it really, stop saying really. It doesn't always have to really do something. Because you are using sound, it vibrates throughout your entire body. And so I find it really helps when I'm feeling low in energy midway through the day.
8.
Feeling all the feels.
So many of us have been through so many emotional roller coasters over the past year. And I speak about this a lot, but it's because I truly believe that releasing our emotions, processing our emotions is such an important part of our wellness. We have to learn our own techniques and the ways that we feel we are able to express our emotions the best. So whether it's writing things down, whether it's sharing it with a friend, or even whether it's saying it to yourself in a mirror. Whatever helps you, just make sure you are releasing it. Because in Ayurveda it says that actually when we end up holding emotions, when we end up holding traumas in our body, it can lead to physical trauma and physical pain. And so constantly cleansing our body, whether it's through our fitness, whether it's through our exercise, the food we're eating, and through cleansing our emotions too.
9,
Talking slower.
That one I'm still working on. Since I can remember, I have had a habit of speaking quite fast, whether it's to camera or even when I'm really excited about something and I'm trying to tell somebody about something and then I'm speaking like this and I really think I'm speaking so slowly and then they can understand me, and then I see them take a breath because they are feeling the anxiety from me speaking so fast. And I have found that when I do speak slower, I'm able to collect my thoughts. I'm able to make less mistakes with the words that I'm saying, and I'm umming and ahhing a lot less and not trying to fill my words with really, which possibly comes to my next one, which is
10,
try and say really a little bit less, really. Those are the 10 habits that I am trying to work on this year, and I'm sure I will be adding in more as the year goes along. So if you'd also like to try some positive habits that can change your life for the better, then go ahead and check out the Gymshark challenge I was talking about, 66 days to make a change for your life. And the best thing is that they have a huge community taking part too, and I have honestly found that doing things with people makes such a difference. It really encourages you and keeps you motivated to keep going. And the challenge includes everything from fitness to nutrition to mindfulness too. So you can have habits that you'd like to change in all aspects of your life. So thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that this has motivated you in some way to make a small change in your life for the better. Sending you all so much love, and thank you again.
If you like this video, and even if you didn't like it at all, subscribe anyway, so I can get to know you, as you get to know me, and we can build a strong community together.